Hey guys, so today I want to show you how to make this mask. What you will be needing is fabric of choice, elastic. I went with really thin elastic, and you will also be needing floral wire. The floral wire is optional, but it is quite helpful as it helps the fabric contour to your nose. And this is pretty much what it looks like. So yeah, thin elastic is pretty comfortable in the back of the ear. The middle piece is also pretty comfortable. It doesn't hurt or anything. And it just helps, like I said, contour onto your nose. And yeah, this size works pretty much for any adult. If you go ahead and try out this tutorial and you make your own mask, tag me. I would love to check it out. So here's a voiceover of how I did the mask. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. So right here, I went ahead and measured a rectangle that measures 8 inches by 13 inches. And you want to go ahead and make sure that your edges are as straight as possible. So right here, I am measuring a 1 centimeter seam allowance for my seam. This is also going to serve as a little pocket where I am going to hide the metal wire. So here I already sewed my seam, and right now I am cutting out the metal wire to measure 11 centimeters. So it is very important that you go ahead and curl the ends of your metal. This will help from your nose or your face getting poked. So here you want to go ahead and measure the middle of your fabric, and you want to center your metal wire right about in the middle. And you want to go ahead and slip it in between the two pieces of fabric right where your seam is. And go ahead and close it up with some pins to stop your metal wire from slipping out and wiggling around. Right here I did a hand stitching because it's just more practical. You can also do a zigzag pattern over a few times on your sewing machine, and that works just as well. You want to go ahead and lightly press your seam and fabric just to make it a little bit neater. So you're going to want to go ahead and measure a long strand of fabric that is 2 inches wide for your bias tape. And this serves to hide the frayed edges of your mask. So you want to go ahead and fold the fabric in half and then open it back up and bring the edges of the fabric to meet that center crease that you made by previously folding the fabric in half. And that is how you create your bias tape. After that, you want to go ahead and lightly press it again with your iron. Now that you have your bias tape nice and pressed, you want to go ahead and measure a piece of bias tape that's slightly bit longer than your mask. So now you want to go ahead and open up your bias tape and you want to line it up right a little bit before the seam that you made at the sewing point of those pleats. And you want to go ahead and fold in those pieces of bias tape that are slightly bit sticking out. You want to make them nice and even along with your mask. So go ahead and pin your bias tape, and you are also going to want to sew a straight line right down where that first crease of your bias tape is. So after you're done sewing your bias tape onto your mask, you want to go ahead and cut off the excess of the pleats on both sides. So here I am just tucking in, making sure that the corners are nice and neat as I am folding it over so I can pin the back side of the bias tape in place. Once you have both sides pinned in place, you can go ahead and finish off by top stitching, or if you're doing this by hand like I did, you can go ahead and use what's called an invisible stitch to sew the back side of your bias tape. Once finished, this is what it looks like. This is the invisible stitch that I did. And the front side of the mask has the wire on the top and the pleats go facing downwards. So you want to grab your elastic and measure approximately 10 inches of elastic. So here's a little hack. I am using a bit of floral wire. I made a little loop on the wire and I am just sewing the elastic through, tying a little knot, make sure it doesn't escape, as I am putting it through the edge of the mask. So now I'm just going to go ahead and tie a little knot at the end of the elastic. Or if you're using the thicker kind of elastic, you just want to go ahead and sew the two ends together. And repeat the same process for the other side of the mask. Now that both sides are done, you want to go ahead and measure your mask, make sure that it's right where you need it to be. If it's too loose, then go ahead and retie the knot to be a little bit more fitted. And once you have the knot right where you want it, go ahead and pull it through into the mask. That way it's not visible.